Welcome to this edition of The Forum. I'm your host, Sheila Evans. Here on The Forum, we highlight interesting and important achievements, programs, and events within our school system and community. And today's show is no exception. Things get underway with Cynthia Henry and Sandra Kittinger, the president and the Azalea Garden Tour Funds Disbursement Chair with the Cape Fear Garden Club. They will tell us about the Garden Club's grant program and how schools have received and can receive grants for gardening projects. Next, Carolyn Gonzalez, Associate Development Director at the Good Shepherd Center, stops in the studio. She tells us about the center's programs and how the community can get involved. And finally, Beth Gaglione is here. She is the branch director at the food bank and will talk with us today about their programs and their needs. It's another great edition of The Forum, so stick around. We'll get right back with our guests after this short break.
My hopes right now are just to go out there and play the perfect show.
You have to make choices. We want to do this. We want this.
I am joined by two ladies from the Cape Fear Garden Club. To my close left, I have Cynthia Henry. She's the president of the club. And to my far left is Sandra Kittinger, and she's the Azalea Garden Tour Funds Disbursement Chair. That's a lot to say, isn't it?
Yes.
Cynthia, let's start with you. Tell us what the grant program is.
Well, first of all, it's great to be back, Sheila, at New Hanover County Schools. As a former teacher and principal, it's nice to be working in another capacity with the schools.
There you go.
But to explain the grant program, for over 50 years, the Cape Fear Garden Club has awarded the profits from the Azalea Garden Tour to local nonprofit organizations to help with beautification projects. Since its inception, the Garden Tour funds have resulted, the disbursements have totaled over $1 million given back to the community. And just this October, we awarded 32 nonprofit organizations over $75,000 in grants and scholarships. And we're proud that 6 of New Hanover County schools were awarded grants in this process. They're both high schools and elementary schools.
Okay. Sandra, let's jump to you. Can you tell us who the schools are?
Yes, I can. We had Dorothy B. Johnson Pre-K.
Okay.
We funded a butterfly garden for them.
Nice.
We had Mary C. Williams request funds to expand their current projects, which I believe include some raised beds with edible plants, flowers, and herbs. Then Hal Pre-K, we also gave additional funds for raised beds for herbs, plants, and flowers. Then 2 high schools. We did New Hanover High School this year and Hoggard High School. There are a couple of projects at Hoggard and one at Hanover. The Hanover project, they decided to rejuvenate and repurpose their interior courtyard. And I believe they have a teacher leader on that particular project to create functional and educational food producing spaces. And then Hoggard's, they also had they wanted to repurpose a courtyard near their gym. I'm not real familiar with where that is, but they are developing a memorial garden there and a garden to honor people within the school district. And then we did something for another project at Hoggard for their athletic department group called the baseball the baseball parents wanted to add some landscaping at the field. So it's a big variety of projects, but basically it's a lot of beautiful plant materials. We're trying to help to conserve and preserve and repurpose and create learning environments for children so that they will understand where their food comes from
Okay.
to some degree. So
Cynthia, let's jump over to you. What kind of things or materials do the grants pay for?
All of the funds that we give out in the grants are used for mainly gardening purposes, for seeds, for plants, flowers. I believe New Hanover High School, one of theirs was some trees, soil, mulch, all of the things that you need to put together a garden, which we know are not sometimes in the school budgets.
yeah.
Yes, so we try to help out this way.
Well, very good. Sandra, what's some of the criteria for receiving a grant?
well, someone needs to be a very good grant writer, and they also need to research a project thoroughly. They submit it to us in a pretty limited timeline in the late spring, and then we spend the summer reviewing them. But some things that need to happen are you need to be a charitable nonprofit organization, and your project must be readily accessible and be within New Hanover County, strictly. All the money must be applied towards the cost of materials for plantings, soil additions, as Cynthia said,
Right.
enhancements, and sometimes irrigation systems. They have to be sustainable. The project must be able to be completed within 12 months. And it's nice to have an outline or a diagram, a landscaping plan. And we spend time looking at this and reviewing this with the grant writer from the school. And then hopefully, if we make enough funds during the Azalea Garden Tour, we can give away a lot of money every year.
Well, there you
for
go.
which we're very grateful to be able to do.
Cynthia, how can other schools apply for these grants?
Well, the next opportunity to apply for the grants will be this coming May 2016. This is after the Azalea Garden Tour, and we know then how much money that we can give out. So there's a window between the 1st of May and the 15th of June 2016 to apply for the grants. All of the grant applications and information really are on our website, and I believe that is being shown on the screen, www.capefeargardenclub.org. So, or they can contact a member of the garden club to get this information.
Okay. And Sandra, how do you follow up on some of these grant projects?
Well, we have a large committee within our club that considers the applications, recommends to the board and to the general membership, and then we have individuals who follow up with the plantings and to see whether or not the money was spent as it was proposed to be spent.
Gotcha.
So, and we follow up over a year. We'd like to see a really sustainable one, but we do spend a lot of time following up on our grants.
Okay. And we're going to end with you, Cynthia. What are other things that you do with the schools besides this grant program?
We're so proud to have some youth garden clubs in the schools, and we have 2 youth garden clubs, one at Bradley Creek that's very active. They're planting a butterfly garden this year, and we're very proud of the expansion at Anderson Elementary. We had 1 kindergarten class last year, and we have 5 kindergarten classes this year. They're doing a lot of work on nature awareness in those programs. And one of the things that we also like to point out is that we have the Azalea Bell program, and we sponsor the Azalea Bells to be hostesses to welcome people in the gardens on the garden tours. And this year we may need close to 150 high school juniors and seniors from our high schools to participate in the Azalea Bell program. So we have a lot of ways that we're working with the schools, and we just invite anyone in the schools who has questions or would like to get involved in some of our projects to please contact us.
Very good. Well, ladies, thank you for giving us an update on where those disbursements are, especially in our schools. And we'll be back in a few minutes right after these messages.
Pearl S. Buck was the third American to receive the Nobel Prize in Literature. She is best known for her novels based in China. Her second novel, The Good Earth, based on the fluctuating fortunes of a peasant family, brought her much success. In addition to her literary achievements, Buck was a great humanitarian, contributing largely to orphans and children with disabilities. This background in literature has been brought to you by New Hanover County Schools.
Mom, can I have $1? Yeah, it's right. I think my purse is upstairs on the bed. It's not here. Check the dining room. No. What about your sister's room? It's not there either. The upstairs closet? The downstairs closet. There are no more closets.
Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
I am joined by Carolyn Gonzalez. She is the Associate Development Director at the Good Shepherd Center. Carolyn, tell us about some of the stuff that's keeping you busy these days. We've got the holidays coming up.
We have the holidays coming up. We have, of course, we're preparing for Thanksgiving, and we're also preparing for Christmas, which is really important. We have a program called Adopt a Family, where people can adopt our families, and you can adopt a family or a single person.
Okay.
Because we have a lot of single clients who come in as well.
Okay.
So you just call us up, you say you want to do that, and then we find out all the information from the families, and then we pair you with someone.
So I call you up and say, hey, I want to adopt a family, and then you get information from the family like clothes sizes or
Yes.
things they'd like to have.
Yes,
and
we
then-
call them up, and then we ask them, you know, your clothes size, shoe size, sort of the basics, and then we ask what is one thing you want to have, what do the kids want. You know, sometimes they ask for a lot, but a lot of times it's just something really simple, like a simple toy or just, you know, a coat, anything like that.
Wow. Have you guys been doing that long?
Yes, I know they did it last year as well, and probably a couple of years. So it's a good program.
And people just need to call the center.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about children in general at the center. Do you have a lot of children?
You know, we average about 12 kids at any given time. Right now we have about 15. This summer we had a lot of kids coming in and out. So you know, we do have kids there.
Okay. And you guys have some family facility type things, correct?
Yes, we have 4 family rooms that are separate from our other rooms for the other guests. And we have a room where they can play. We have a playroom for them. We also have an area where they can study. We have UNCW students who come in and tutor them as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
In the playroom, do you have needs in there?
We always are looking for toys and games. You know, sometimes we like to have organizations come in and sort of refresh the room, you know, paint it or,
Great.
you know, organize it, you know, new furniture sometimes, so people can do that as well.
What about children's books?
Children's books, we're always looking for children's books as well.
Okay. How long can someone stay at Good Shepherd?
Average, I think, is about 45 days, but, you know, you can stay as long as you need to, and, you know, as long as you're working our program and following the rules, you can stay.
Okay. What other events do you have coming up?
This year, sort of our events are over, but next year we have our fundraising events that we have. We have 2 golf tournaments. We have one in the spring. We have one in the fall.
Oh, there you go.
Yep. We have a fall event. We have a kids walk sometime in May.
Oh.
So that's sort of like to get kids aware of the homeless situation here in town.
Where
So,
does that take place?
Greenfield Lake.
Okay.
And last year was our first year, and we did really well, so we're going to do it again this year.
How many people do you think had participate?
We had about 200.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And would I assume that parents do this as well with the kids?
Yes. What we did is we had kids register, the parents came along, and then we had activities for them. We had activities that sort of, you know, gave them information about homelessness in this community, especially the kids, you know, how many kids, the average age is 9 years old of a homeless child and things like that. So
Tell me what an example of an activity would be. Were you there?
yes.
Okay.
We had a little kind of, you know, build your own house with the popsicle sticks. We also had a kind of a sheet where it's like, here's your backpack. Now, if you had to leave your home, what would you take? because we wanted to show them this is what happens with these kids.
Yeah.
They can only take X amount of things.
That is so cool.
Yeah. And hopefully next year we'll have a couple of more new activities. So
Okay.
a lot of fun.
And when does Adopt an Angel start?
Adopt a Family, and
Oh,
it
did I
starts.
say angel?
Yeah. It's starting right now. Right now we've had people call like 3 weeks ago saying, I want to do this again this year. So we've started it already. We started contacting our families and getting our list ready for everybody.
What do you think draws people to the Good Shepherd Center?
In terms of volunteers or?
Well, in terms of Adopt a Family, like I made the misnomer with Adopt an Angel, there's certainly other programs out there. What do you think makes them call and want to help you guys again?
I think it's, if you can help a family and you know that you've given them something they want for Christmas, I think that's what really, it touches people. It really helps them say, I did something. And I think that's what, you can see what you've done when you help out Good Shepherd.
And is your goal to get some type of gift for every member of the family?
Yes. Yes. We want people to adopt the whole family, or we want people to adopt a single, gentleman or a woman, because that's what we have. We have a lot of, it's not just families.
Yeah, that's nice. I heard of an initiative that provides gifts for older children because people are always worried about the younger children, but the older children are still in the family as well.
Yeah, and I think that's why they have this program, so we can tell the people who want to donate, this is what we have. We have, a 17-year-old, we have a 2-year-old, the mom. We ask the moms and the dads what they want or what they need as well.
Is the expectation that they're in the center staying with you at the time, or just that they've been with you in the past, or how does that relationship come in?
It's both. We have people who are staying there at the time, but that's transitional. But we want to help the guests we've rehoused as well. So we have, we keep track of the people we've rehoused. We, make sure they get food. We have a program called Food Boxes. So every Friday they send out, Friday or Saturday, they send out food boxes for people who we recently rehoused, just to help them out.
And how do you get the food?
Food is donated by local grocers,
Oh, okay.
Trader Joe's, Whole Foods. We had a lot of donations from people who just come by and drop off food as well. So, we get tons of food. So it's
And you
always
have
good.
volunteers that go around to the Trader Joe's and the Whole Foods and pick it up for you and bring it back to the center.
Yes,
and then
we
you're
have.
able to get it out to these families that are just transitioning back into their new home.
Yeah. So we have drivers who go out and do that. We have people who come and deliver food. We get a lot of food every day, so we have a lot of volunteers who come. They sort the food. If we have too much of one thing, we actually give out food to local organizations like Mother Hubbard's Covered, Salvation Army.
Nice.
Yeah, so I think it's about 16
It's a good
organizations.
problem.
Yeah.
Great.
And we also do food drive. We have a food giveaway Mondays and Wednesdays at the
Okay.
center.
So the phone number that they need to call?
Is 910-763-4424.
Okay, 4424, pretty easy to remember.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for filling us in on Adopt a Family.
All right.
And we'll be back in a few minutes, right after these messages.
Tick, tick, tick,
Tick.
tick, tick, tick.
Massive heat waves.
Heat waves. Tick. Severe droughts. Tick, tick.
Tick, tick, tick.
Devastating hurricanes.
Tick, tick, tick.
Tick, 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 tick.
Our future is up
Tick, tick,
to you.
tick.
Go to fightglobalwarming.com while there's still time.
Oh my God!
My next guest is Beth Gaglione. She is the branch director of the Food Bank of Central and Eastern North Carolina at Wilmington.
That's right.
That is a mouthful.
It is.
Tell us a little bit about the food bank and why you think it's important.
So the mission of the food bank is that no one goes hungry. But we serve a unique role in the distribution of food in our community. What sets us apart from organizations that are distributing food directly to individuals is that, just as our name says, we are a warehouse full of food, the food bank. And so organizations like Food Lion and Walmart and Harris Teeter and Lowe's Food, they can make deposits into our bank, and then we make sure that that food goes to organizations that are doing good work distributing food on the ground to people that are in need.
So by deposits, do you mean literally food deposits?
Exactly.
And
food donations.
What kind of food donations would they make?
So-
Stuff that's not moving or stuff that you need?
It is all
both?
across the board.
Okay.
It is both, and it is food in addition to that. And so I'll use our grocery stores as an example.
Okay.
And so we pick up at Food Lions and Walmarts here in our community almost every day.
Nice.
And we're picking up food that is near expiration, so to speak. And they do different things within their stores that allow us to come and get perfectly good food, but they know it's not going to sell by the date in which they need to sell it in.
Right.
And so our hungry neighbors and friends in our community benefit from that. And that's called our food recovery program.
What's the term food insecure mean?
Food insecure means that at some point within the last, whether it be month or 6 months or whatever given period of time, you have worried about where your next meal is going to come from. That's really the definition of food insecurity.
Let's talk a little bit about the holiday meals drive.
Yeah, so people naturally think about our food bank and those who are hungry during the community, and so we've given them some outlets to give really easily. So right now, if you go to your Harris Teeter store, you can give now and through the middle of December, you can make a donation through their Harvest Feast campaign. And for every $1, we can acquire 5 meals to help our hungry neighbors and friends. There's a similar campaign going on at Lowe's food stores. And Food Lion, again, is an organization that helps us all year long, and they're supporting us with donations. So, but we also just encourage, everyone in the community that if they want to do a food drive, whether it be at their place of work or their school, to be thinking about collecting cans of non-perishable food. And we have a list of most needed food items, which I'll share with you in a minute.
Okay.
And but we also have something really cool on our website called the Virtual Food Drive. And so you can go on and fill a shopping cart and make a monetary donation, and we can expand that gift pretty considerably.
Interesting. So you just go in and pick out what you'd like to buy if
That's
you were
right.
buying, and then
That's
you
right.
just make the donation in US dollars,
That's
so to
right.
speak. And
That's right.
that's cool.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun way
Yeah,
for
I was
people
just
to
gonna
get
say,
involved.
that is
and it's
fun.
easy, just like we shop on Amazon.com. You can go to the Virtual Food Drive, and it's simple. And it's very meaningful to make a $20 donation to the food bank.
Right. Are the needs greater during holiday times?
They can be considerably. I mean, and I always think about it in terms of, your neighbor, your elderly neighbor who might be in a situation where they have lots of family coming to visit during the holidays, and they're trying to make their own food budget stretch. Or that mom who, for 2 weeks, she's feeding, her children who normally get free and reduced breakfast and
There
lunch
you
at
go.
school. And so the holidays can be a stressful time, but it is a need that does, it is an all year long need. But our traditions also put some pressure on us in terms of what we put on that holiday meal table. We want to have that turkey or that bird, and we want to have all the fixings.
Right.
And so it is a stressful time for people who are food insecure.
What are the most needed items?
Well, we think about the most needed items in terms of what people need all year long. And so they don't change during the holiday, but canned meats, things like tuna fish and beef stew, are wonderful high protein items. Peanut butter is a staple in every pantry, right? Whether you have
There you
kids
go.
or you don't have kids, it's that high protein item. Always fruits and vegetables, canned fruits and vegetables are high need. Cereal, pasta. Those are staples too. And canned soups we like to include because that can be a really hearty meal. But something I'd like to share with you, Sheila, that I
Sure.
think a lot of people don't know about our needs at the food bank, and what we are really trying to do more of is we're trying to distribute more fresh produce. So working with farmers to make sure that we have those sweet potatoes and apples
Nice.
during this time of the year is really important. And so people say to me a lot, well, for example, if I have a fig tree and it's an abundant, I have an abundance of figs, can I bring those down to the food bank? Absolutely. Our relationships around distributing fresh produce are more so with the farmer or people who are large producers of that sort of food. But if you have a community garden and you would like to come and bring some of that fresh produce to the food bank, we'd love to have it. We're not just about non-perishable canned goods anymore.
So what a nice way to help without the non-perishables and money donations.
Absolutely.
Very good. What comes after the holiday season for you guys?
So after the holidays, particularly in February and March, we're really thinking about how to restock our shelves. And so we're preparing for the months ahead when people are not as naturally thinking about their hungry neighbors and friends. And so we have a few campaigns that we work on. For example, the Stop Summer Hunger campaign is something that we focus on throughout the spring months. And gearing up for that time that we know there is a high need. Children are home from school. They're not getting those 2 meals a day at school, and there is a demand on local households. So that's something that we work on in the beginning of the year.
Where can viewers find more information or make a donation?
So foodbankcenc.org is our website, and that's probably the best place to find all the information, whether it be a food drive kit or that virtual food drive or making an online donation.
Tell me what a food drive kit is.
So a food drive kit is, it's pretty simple. Some materials so that if, for example, if you're a teacher at a school and you want to do a small food drive with your class, we would have a list of our most needed food items, where you could pick up a box to serve as a receptacle, some posters to put up in the classroom, some statistics about what hunger means in the United States. I mean, we just had a kindergarten class come over from one of the local schools, and she said, one of the little kindergartners said to me, when we're hungry or when we need food, we just go to the grocery store. And, teacher was trying to explain to her that not everyone has that luxury. It was really a new thought for her and really interesting to see. And so information that teachers could share with kids in that vein is great.
Great. Well, Beth, thanks for coming by
You're
and sharing this
welcome.
information. And we will be back in just a few minutes right after these messages.
Mark! Anna! Ooh! Hey, forgot your lunch. Hey.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent, because kids in foster care don't need perfection. They need you.
We hope you've enjoyed our program today. To contact the Wilmington branch of the Food Bank or make a donation, you can call them at 251-1465. If you would like to find out more about the Cape Fear Garden Club's grant program, you can visit their website at www.capefeargardenclub.org. And finally, to find out more about the Good Shepherd Center, you can call 763-4424. Now, if you ever have any questions about the topics discussed here on our show today, please call the school system's public relations office at 254-4180 or check out the school system's website at www.nhcs.net. I'm Sheila Evans, and thanks for joining me today.